class. Last day, last session I explained the concepts of development. What we are going to cover in our 30 sessions of development, Salesforce development. Just
Sridhar, I think you're breaking up.
Yeah, it's disturbance is coming from your side. Voice is cutting.
Your internet's slow or what? Why it's breaking?
from for attending the session, keep in mute in your
I can't understand you.
Hello, Mr. Sridhar, can you come again, please? I can't understand. The voice is breaking continuously. Hello,
and we
Sridhar,
can
can you? I can't. Voice is breaking too.
yeah, okay from your side some disturbance I'm getting like okay. Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Last session, we covered these concepts, sales development concept. Those are nothing but customization, basic of programming, and introduction to loops concepts, exception handling, and working with Eclipse. Just I explained these all things. Collections, the sockets and SOS queries, and DML statements, and Apex triggers, Apex classes, and record setware, and visual force pages, dynamic Apex classes. Just I
You already covered this part?
yeah, just I will explain what are these terms, meanings, and what are simply. Just I explain.
That I think that's a whole syllabus. You already completed in one class?
Yeah, previously last session only this session has started. This is second. Actually, I shared in Google Drive also that doc. I explained about.
Again, Sam, we can't hear you right.
Yeah, last session I explained some of the websites useful visual websites of Salesforce. Like if you want to create your own Salesforce account means you have to use this developer.salesforce.com for create Salesforce account. If you want to log in your
That's
account,
Praveen. Sridhar, I just want to confirm, do you cover admin topics also?
no, just development only.
Okay.
Just if you want to log into your Salesforce account means you have to use this URL login.salesforce.com. If you want to log into Sandbox means you have to use this test.salesforce.com HTTPS. And if you want to interact with your community peoples, Salesforce community peoples, you have to log in HTTPS success.salesforce.com. And also I given one task, create your whole Salesforce account and observe the given website last session. Today's sessions I am going to cover some basic concept of programming, Salesforce programming.
Sridhar, sorry to interrupt you. I think we can hear you, but we can't understand you. It's breaking very hard, right? Like sometime it just get improved and again it happened the same.
Okay. Actually, from my side, okay. From my side, no disturbance. Okay, I will try to speak louder. In our session,
Not louder. It's cracking. It's breaking up. The voice is breaking up. So it's not about your fault. It's about something internet connection or something.
okay, my 60 Mbps, my internet connection.
I don't know why it is. Sometimes it's fine.
Okay, if it is better means I will take Hangouts also.
Let's do it today here, and because if we go there, then again it will take a time, right?
Okay, okay. In the session, this is our session 2. Guys, are you done previously given on task na Salesforce creation of Salesforce and visit given websites? Who are
No.
attending the last session? I share this doc in Google Drive also. Just session is Apex. Apex in the development part. Basically, two parts is there: Salesforce development, Apex, Apex programming. In Apex programming, we write the business logic. Visual Force pages, we design dynamic web pages, design dynamic and attractive web pages, which are not possible with the help of administration. Administration features can achieve those business logic with the help of Apex programming.
Again.
హలో
Yeah, hello.
యా మీరు మీ దగ్గర నుంచి లాగిన్ అవ్వండి. ఇదేదో ఫాల్ట్ మేబీ నా దగ్గర ఇంటర్నెట్ పవర్ యాక్సెస్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ ఏమో నేను ఆర్గనైజ్ చేయడం వల్ల.
Okay, change that organization
యా
setting.
మీకే ఇస్తాను. యా
Hello.
హలో
Yeah, hello.
యా ఇప్పుడు మీరు యూ కెన్ స్టార్ట్ రైట్ నౌ. ఐ థింక్ ఇట్ ఈస్ బెటర్ టు.
Hello, Mr. Sridhar, can you hear me? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, no, can you hear me my voice now?
Yeah, I'm hearing.
Your voice is breaking.
Principles of hoops is nothing but abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance. These are the principles of hoops. These are called hoops concepts. Apex will implement business logics. Apex will implement business logics in terms of classes and methods. In terms of classes and methods. In Apex programming, we write the methods and classes. We implement the business logics with the help of classes and methods. And Apex is integrated with the database.com. We can fetch the record using SOQL. SOQL means Salesforce Object Query Language. With the help of Apex programming, we can write query languages like Salesforce Object Query Language. With the help of single line of Salesforce Object Query Language, we can fetch the records of a particular object. We can fetch the records of particular object that feature available in Apex. Through Apex, we can achieve this. And in Apex, we can integrate Salesforce with other systems with the help of REST API and SOAP API. In Apex, integration means we are connecting our organization, nothing but Salesforce, to other organizations, nothing but CBells and .NET Java. That is integration. By using REST API and SOAP API, REST API and SOAP API, API is nothing but application program interface. Application program interface. It is a mediator between these two systems. And SOAP API, simple object. And Apex is tightly coupled programming language. Guys, are you know what is meant by tightly coupled programming language? Tightly coupled programming language, nothing but variables before going, declaration before going to usage. Before going to usage, if you declare the variables means that is called tightly coupled programming language. Variables, declaration before usage. For suppose, if any programming language, if you want to, we have to declare the variables, means what data type it is. That thing we have to declare before going to usage of variables. That type of programming language is called tightly coupled programming language. Otherwise, loosely coupled means variable declaration at runtime. That is called loosely coupled programming language. Next, data types. To describe what type of data the objects can hold, it describes data type describes two things. What type of data the variable can hold, that is the primary, and second one, how much memory it will require to store data. How much memory it will require to store data. These two things data types will cover. These 2 points will main purpose of data types is what type of data that is and how much memory it requires. These two. For these two purposes it is required, data types. Next, types of data types. Primitive data types. Primitive data types. Primitive data types means defined by system. Defined by system. Primitive data type is nothing but defined by system. Data types. Salesforce, two types of data types is available. One is primitive data types. Second one is non-primitive data types. Non-primitive data types. Primitive data types means nothing but these are the data types defined by system. Primitive data types means these are the data types defined by system. Simply predefined data types. Non-primitive means these are the data types defined by user. Defined by user. Nothing but user defined data types. These are nothing but user defined data types. For example, you see non-primitive data types is user defined data types is nothing but arrays. Example, arrays. Here are the two different data types. If you take example, primitive data types is nothing but system defined data types. Example is int, next Integer, double. These all comes under primitive data types defined by system. Non-primitive data types means defined by user-defined data types. Example is arrays. And also tightly coupled programming language. Tightly coupled means the variables declaration before going to use, that is called tightly coupled programming language. Loosely coupled programming language. Loosely coupled means the variable declaration before going to use is tightly coupled. The variables declaration at the time of running the program. These are the tightly coupled programming language and loosely coupled programming language. And OOPS concepts. OOPS concept is nothing but encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance, polymorphism, inheritance. Encapsulation means binding of classes and methods. OOPS concept is nothing but encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance. Encapsulation means binding of data and classes is called encapsulation. Polymorphism means representing one form into multiple forms is called polymorphism. Inheritance means acquire the features of parent class to the child class. That is nothing but inheritance. By using inheritance, reusability, we can reusability feature we can implement. Abstraction, like these are the OOPS concepts. Yeah, tightly coupled and loosely coupled. For suppose tightly coupled means like we'll say example, like int age character name string name. This is declaration before going to usage. Before going to usage. Before going to usage, we are initially we are declaring the variables. Those variables nothing but what data type. Those variables like age is what data type it is. Age is integer, and I am taking here suppose I am taking age is 20, that is integer. I am declaring the variable age with integer and string. I am declaring the name with a string. I am declaring before going to usage in a program, in classes and methods. I am declaring primarily. That's why this type of declaration programs is called tightly coupled programming language. Tightly coupled programming languages. Encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance. Yeah. Data types. Data type. What type of data the variable can hold? These are completed types. Primitive data types, non-primitive data types. Next, these are integers. Integer, long, string, decimal, double, boolean. Next, date and time, ID, Bob, subject data type. Integer, these are the types of data types. Just I will explain types of data types. It's supposed to define an integer value up to 32 bits. The range is encapsulation, binding of methods and variables. Polymorphism means represents the one form represents one form to multiple represent one form into multiple forms. It's called polymorphism. Inheritance means acquire the parent qualities to the child. Inheritance. Integer. integer support minus 2 power 32 plus 2 power 32. It supports define a integer value up to 32 bits. It is integer. Long means supports to define a integer value up to 64 bit. Range is minus 2 power 64 to plus 2 power 64. Then string. It supports to store alphanumerical values with a special character. Alphanumeric values with special characters. Each character will occupy 2 bytes. Next, decimal. It supports to store integer value along with the decimal value. Integer value along with the decimal value. Default currency field will follow decimals. So once you consider any currency values means we have to represent the decimal values also. Like currencies will take default decimal data type and double. It suppose integer value up to 64 bits along with the decimal value. It will support decimal values also. Next, Boolean. It stores true and false values. Checkbox. Middle checkbox will follow Boolean. If you give tick mark means it is true, otherwise it will consider false. Checkbox will follow default Boolean data type. Currency will follow decimal data type. Doubles 64 bit with a decimal value. 64 bit, you will observe these two things. 64 bits with the decimal values. Here also 64 bits with the decimal values. Here 64 bit with decimal values. Here only 64 bit. Only 64 bit. Difference is decimal values. Double will support decimal values. Long will not support decimal values, but range is same. 64 bit. Boolean. Just it will true or false. True or false values. Checkbox will follow Booleans. Next, data. It holds date values. Date also one of the data type. Next, date type. It holds the timestamp values. Date time. It holds the timestamp values. ID. It stores 18 character ID of the record. ID. In Salesforce, there is 2 IDs will there. I will explain the Salesforce 18 character ID. Salesforce will generate a character ID by default. 18 character ID by default. Salesforce organizations identify any record or any object with the help of 18 character ID. For suppose, I will say some examples. Account. Last 3 characters. First start with 001. Next account. Contact. Like each and every object follows by opportunity. Like 003, 006, like that. Solution 500, case is 500, solution is 501, campaign is 00Q. Those are the last 15 characters plus 3 characters. 18 characters nothing but we can split into 15 digits into 3 digits. These last 3 digits. Yeah, this is ID character of the record. Blob. Binary large object. It is used to store images files inside the variable. If you want to store any images and variables means we use blob, binary large object, S object type. The main purpose of this object is to interact with the Salesforce object, perform DML. In Salesforce, the name what we are giving, that is one name. Actually, each and every object will maintain one class name. The class name, for suppose, when I am creating one custom object like cities means, automatically that Salesforce database will assign one data table for that object. The name of that data table is nothing but followed by underscore. If I will create a cities custom objects means the data table name is cities underscore c. Cities underscore c. The object name followed by underscore c will indicate the data table of that object. S object data type. Those are nothing but S object data type. These are used to perform the DML operations. DML operations means like insertion, update, delete. These are we can achieve by using with the help of these S object data types only. We can perform these all DML operations in Salesforce. That is the main purpose to retrieve this S object data type. Yeah, heap memory, top memory, static memory allocation. Before we discuss now, before we are going to uses of the variables, we have to declare a memory size. That is static memory allocation. Variables stored in heap memory, and when we declare the variables at a runtime, that is a dynamic memory allocation. Those variables will store in a stock memory. Heap memory and stock memory. This is the difference between heap memory and stock memory. Stock memory. Yeah, class name. Table of the object followed by underscore. If position is my object, then data table of that particular object is position underscore c. That object class name always indicates table of that object, data table of object. The data table of that object name is followed by underscore c of object, like position underscore c. Like we will discuss about access modifiers, access specifiers. Both are same. Access modifiers is official name. Access specifiers. It is synonym of access modifiers. But both are same. Access modifiers, access specifiers, both are same. Both are not different. Both are same. Access specifiers, access modifiers. We have some access specifiers. Those are nothing but private, public, global. Private mainly we will use in private, public, global. Private means within the class. If you want to use your variables within the class, within the program, means we have to declare private. Public. Public means if you want to use your data types within organization. For suppose Salesforce organization, if you want to use a within organization means you have to define the variables with a public access modifier. Public access modifier. If you want to use variables within organization and outside of organization in web services, in third parties, in integration means you have to define the variable with a global access specifier. Global access specifier or access modifier, both are same. Like if you don't define any access modifiers in Salesforce, then Salesforce automatically consider private. Salesforce automatically consider private access modifier, private access modifier. And global and these all things for integration purpose, external web service purpose, we will use global. See here, access modifier for class numbers, variables, constructors, properties, functions. Private, only accessible within the class, not outside of the class. Private only within the class, private. Public means outside of the class. Public means class outside of the class, within organization. Next, protected. Within the class, all derived and child classes. Within the class, all derived and child classes. Global. Organization, outside of the organization. Both. Organization means within organization, outside of the organization. If you don't define access modifier, then Salesforce consider private. Salesforce will consider default private. It can't access outside of the Salesforce. Private only we can use within the Salesforce only, within the class only. All classes of batch apex, schedule apex, feature methods, web services, API, application program interference, has to be defined as global. These are also called as access specifiers. Both are same. Access specifiers, access modifiers. Access specifiers, access modifiers, both are same. These are about modifiers, access modifiers. Next, difference between on-premise and on-demand. On-premise and on-demand. On-demand means like Gmail. Just we have to by using our credentials like username and password. If you use that service means that is on-demand. There is no installation. Required for on-demand services, and on-demand services no installation required, and only we have to net connections we have to required. These all comes under on-demand applications. Our Salesforce comes under on-demand application. On-demand, why? Because we don't maintain any servers also. Each and everything we are purchase the license and we are using the services. That's why our Salesforce comes under on-demand application. On-premise means like MS Office. We have to install in our systems, and we have to use the application which is required to installation. Those comes under on-premise application. On-demand means without using installation, by using user ID and password with internet connection, if you use that service means those comes under on-demand application. Salesforce is on-demand application. Salesforce is a on-demand application. Salesforce is on-demand application. This is our Salesforce account. You want to go developer console means click on your name. Click on your name, then select developer console. Select developer console. Developer console. Yeah, with help of query editor, we can write SYSL, SQL queries here only. Query editor, like log files, text. If you want to write and if you want to execute any program without saving, then you can use open execute anonymous window or control E. Control E. Open execute anonymous window. Otherwise, if you want to create a new program, Apex program means we have to select like this. File, new, Apex classes. If you want to write a trigger means Apex trigger. Last Visual Force pages, Visual Force component, static resource, lightning application, lightning components. These are the things we have to create. Next we have to open means we have to click Control O. Like we will see open execute anonymous window. Open execute anonymous window. Here two types of execute. If you want to execute a particular lines means you have to select those lines only and click on execute highlighted. Execute highlighted. Otherwise, if you want to execute all lines means then you have to click on execute. If you want to open log files, you have to click on it. Here this is nothing but a comment line. In Salesforce, two types of comment lines is available. This is a single line comment line. Salesforce types of comments. First one, single line comments. Second one, multi-line comment. Multi-line. Single line comments, multi-line comment. Single line comments means just we have to give single line will like that. Have to write your comment. Single line comments will start like this. This is single line comment. This is single line comment. If you want to write multiple line comment means this is multiple line comment. Multiple line comment. This is multiple line comment. For suppose I will apply comment a single line comment here, you will observe. If I will give, yeah, this color changed. Why? Because it is a single line comment. If you give these two lines means, yeah, then no, it is not a comment. If you keep these two lines means, it is single line comment. Then multiple line comment. See here, I will apply multiple line comment here. Multiple line comments means I have to give this sign and this sign. This is starting, that is followed by end. Debug, open execute. I am giving multiple line comment here. Yeah, I given that is starting. This is ending. This is multiple line comment. This is multiple line comment. I written comment 3 lines. Comments will appear in this color. Appear in these colors. If I remove these comment lines, multiple line comments means color will change. Yeah. Then it's not a comment. These are the comment lines. Single line comments, multiple line comments. Yeah, we can discuss operators and the remaining also. Okay. These are the operators. These are the basics. Arithmetic operators, relational operators, increment operator, logical. These are the object-oriented programming, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, overriding, overloading. Just operators in Salesforce. Operators in Salesforce. Operators in Salesforce. Nothing but arithmetic operators. Second one, logical operators. Increment, decrement, these are the operators. You see, arithmetic operators means plus for addition and minus for subtraction and this multiplication and division. These are the arithmetic operators. Logical operators is nothing but and, or, not, and operator, or not operator. Increment, decrement, increment by 1, increment by 2. Yes, here plus addition operators, subtraction operations, multiplication operation, division operation, get remainder value. Arithmetic operator, these are nothing but. Next, relation comparison. Less than or equal to, greater than or equal, not equal. Next, increment, decrement, plus, decrement the value by 1, increment the value by 1. Logical, and, or, not. These are the logical operators. Next, object-oriented programming is the encapsulation. The wrapping of data and methods together is called encapsulation. Wrapping up of data and method together is called encapsulation. If you take class variable and methods, you will write in the class. Class is binding together, so class is an example of encapsulation. Encapsulation can be achieved by using classes and interfaces. Encapsulation means a combination of methods and variables. Encapsulation, capsule means that is a combination of two parts. Like that in programs also, encapsulation means binding of methods and variables. Simply it is called encapsulation. Inheritance. It creates a new class from existing classes. So new class will acquire all the features of existing class is called inheritance. It will this feature allows code reusability. This features allows code reusability. Inheriting the features from the parent class is nothing but inheritance. This is about inheritance. Next, polymorphism. Representing the one form into multiple forms. Representing the one form. Poly means many. Morphism means forms. Representing one form into multiple forms is nothing but polymorphism. Polymorphism represents one form into multiple forms. It allows us to define multiple functions with the same name with a different signature. This feature can be achieved by using overriding and overloading. Next, abstraction. Abstraction provides the user difference to the user, but without providing the complexity of the implementation. Abstract provides the data security. Abstractions, with the help of abstraction, it provides the data security. We can achieve data security. Next, overriding, overloading. Overriding means declaration of method subclass already in the parent class, that is called overriding. Overloading means occur when two or more methods in the class we have the same method name but different parameter, that is called overloading. In the next session, we will cover conditional statements and iteration, for loop, while loop, those statements, and arrays, and variable declaration and object creation. Variable declaration and object declaration. When we are executing the program in execute announcement window, we have to declare the object. We have to write the object. With the help of object only, we can execute this program. The programs what we written in execute anonymous window, what we are writing in execute anonymous window, the programs what we written in execute anonymous window, those we can execute with the help of object creation. With the help of object creation only. This is the list collection examples. List collection examples. List collection examples. This is about today's session. I will share these docs in Google Drive. Like today's session, we covered modifiers, what is private, what is public, what is protected, what is global, what is the access modifiers, and types of comments in Salesforce, types of comments, and what is the meaning of this heap memory, stock memory, class name, what is the class name, what is heap memory, what is stock memory, and we all data types, integer, long, string, decimal, double, boolean, date and time, ID, blob, subject data type, all data types with, and data types. What are the types of data types? Like primitive is predefined by system. Non-primitive means defined by user. Those are nothing but arrays. Primitive data types is nothing but int, character, this double. These are all comes under primitive data types. What is the use of data types? Variable. What type of variable it holds, and what are the size it? How much memory size it requires? That is the data types. And introduction about Apex programming. These are the things we covered in this session. Next session we will cover those statement functions and arrays, variable declaration, Those we will see in next session. I will share this doc in Google Drive to all guys. If you have any doubts regarding the session, means mail me. I will give clarification. I will give clarification.
That's it all over.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi Sridhar, is it over?
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, so shall we leave the session?
Yeah. Session is finished. I will mail your doubts and I will share that doc in Drive. Today also same time we will meet in next session tomorrow same time 9 to 10.
Right, same time. Okay, fine. All right,
Okay.
I'll give you a call personally in a few minutes, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. Hello. Hello.
Hello.